Hello, it's Josie, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I help my young horses find their own balance on the lunge. Each horse has its own tempo which it finds its own balance in easiest, and it's our job as their rider or handler, if you're doing it on the ground, to help them find that particular tempo. And I'm hoping that by showing you this today, you can see when Abby finds her tempo and when she's actually falling out of balance. It's very obvious, and that will hopefully help you with your own horse.
Okay, off we go. Welcome. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Steady. Steady. I like all my horses to walk on the lunge. It drives me insane when a horse won't walk. Trot, trot. I'll let her trot on because I want to show you that all horses, so she's running at the moment, all horses have their own tempo. The tempo, the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 speed that they find their own balance in. And our job as a horse person is to help them find it, and then when they've found it, develop it. Steady. You'll see hers. This girl, it's quite obvious when she hits her tempo. That's why I thought I'd choose to show it. Good, it's coming. Because what happens is the whole body moves together, and if you look, she looks like she's there. Here it comes. Good girl. Now that's her tempo there. Whoops, and she's lost it again. She's running on the forehand. Steady. So my job as her rider, handler, whatever you want to call me, is to find that there, that pace there, and then develop her from there. And what you'll find under saddle, green horses, and this girl is green, is that they run, they slow, they run, they slow. And that's just part of the learning process of them finding their balance. So she's not even that balanced on a circle without me on her. So imagine what she'd be like with me on her. That's it. You can see it. She's quite obvious, this mare. Which is why I thought I'd use her as a demo. She really can swing. And that's when she's found her balance and she's got her tempo, her natural God-given tempo. Good, there it is. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Okay, so she's got balance, and then she runs on her forehand, loses her balance, and then she finds it again. Good girl, this way. That's a girl. Let's see if I can take her a little bit further down this way, away from the camera. Steady. Aha, good. You can see she's making the circle smaller. How can you see that? Because the lunge rein starts to drag on the ground. I'm not moving, so she has to be. Quite normal as well. Good girl. And walk. Good girl. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on. So horses learn, you know, the go and stop. And trot. Trot, trot, trot. Okay, she didn't go, so good girl. But I won't finish with that correction. I'll get her, and walk, and walk. So go and stop, start with voice commands, which she learnt in the round yard, and trot, trot. Good girl. Because nobody gave them a manual when they were born. With when your rider pulls on both reins, you stop. When your rider kicks you in the side, you go. So somewhere along the line, we need to teach them. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So what we do is when she finds her tempo and when I can get her doing a few circles and keeping her tempo, I might try and just push the tempo on a little, push the trot out. Good girl. I'd like her out more, so I'll point my whip at her shoulder. I want the circle bigger. She doesn't need to be doing such a little circle as such a baby horse. Whoop. Take all your legs with you. Good girl, out you go. And horses are so predictable. So she falls out that side and she falls in around here in a minute. Good, 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 good girl. Good girl. Good girl, good girl. Trot, trot. That's a girl. And walk. I don't do a lot of walk with side reins on. This mare is really quite green, but as you can see, they're quite long. As in, she's well and truly in front of the vertical in them. I'm not a huge user of side reins, so it just helps keep the horse on the circle when you're lunging. And this girl also, when I first started her, the minute you put any pressure on the bars of her mouth or even just touch the bit, her predisposition was to rear. So we could put the side reins on it and just send her forward, so she worked out she could go through the contact and that it wasn't, you know, she didn't have to go up and stand on her hind legs, because ain't nobody like that. Good girl. And trot, trot, trot. That's it. And walking. Repetition is the mildest form of punishment, if you want to look at it that way. I never end. And trot, trot. Never end. Like I wouldn't have just kept going as on the correction. I have to come back and the horse has to show me she understood the correction for me to be happy. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have to do the correction 3 or 4 or 5 times till they actually get it. Good girl. So that's her natural rhythm there. Not as a green horse. That's her natural tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you have to, go back and look at the beginning and see where she was running around on her face, falling forward, for want of a better way. You know, she really was out of her own tempo. Still a trot rhythm, a 1-2-1, but it was not in any way, shape or form a balanced one. She was falling forward. Think yourself when you're running. If you're running really fast sometimes, I don't know if you've done it, but I certainly have, you actually will lose your balance and fall forward. Good. So we actually end up, instead of wanting our horses to do this, we want them to do this and be balanced. And walking. Whoop, halt will do. Now she's backs up off of that contact. Just that little bit of contact there, I know, because she does it under saddle too. Good girl. Good girl. So it is actually a big red flag to me that too much pressure on this mare's mouth will actually have a horse that stands on her hind legs, and you can very easily teach a horse to rear.
This is my beautiful Abby, who I sadly had to put down. I'll link her story here if you'd like to see it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that you get notified when I put out a video on every Friday. Thanks for watching.